Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and today I'm going to show you some of the books that I got in May of 2022. So I'm filming this in June. It's been a while since I made a video, just been very busy. We have just in the past week put our house on the market, of course hoping that it will sell so that we can then buy something bigger, more to our liking, something that is more fitting for our children and for our style. And anybody who has gotten a house ready to put it on the market, I'm sure will know that it's basically like having another full-time job. So I have been able to take some time to read, but that's about it. Any other hobbies, including making videos, has pretty much gone out the window for a little while. I'm stealing a little bit of time right now. We don't have anybody coming to look at the house. I got a few minutes, so I figured I'd at least try and make a video. And like I said before, these are the books that I got in May of 2022. So it's not a huge pile here. Just thought that I'd show them off, and if anybody read them, I'd love to hear the comments. And at least one of them I've already read, and that was this one. Picked this one up, Louis L'Amour's Dark Canyon. This is for June on the Range, a booktube event created by Michael K. Vaughan about reading westerns. So I'd actually seen this at Walmart, which I was very surprised about. It was only about maybe $6 or $7. So, you know, grab this for June on the Range. I've already read it, and I have to say I did enjoy it. I'll talk about this more in a separate video, hopefully that I'll get to at some point soon. Another book that I picked up that I have begun reading is this one, Charles Brockden Brown, okay, from the Library of America collection. 3 Gothic novels. We've got Wieland, Arthur Mervyn, and Edgar Huntley. I am reading along with a couple others, including Mark from Book Time with Elvis, and Greg over at Another Bibliophile Reads, and also Sonia Devigny, a booktube commenter. We are going through Gothic fiction. I basically wanted to make it a project to go through Gothic fiction, at least some of the major works, in largely chronological order, to see how things progressed, how things influenced each other. Last month we read The Monk, which all of us in the group actually really enjoyed. And now we're reading Charles Brockden Brown, the first American Gothic novelist, really one of the first American-born novelists, period. And so we are currently reading Wieland. And I'm about, at this point, I'm up to chapter 14, and largely enjoying it. Not as much as The Monk so far, but it's something that I'll certainly talk more about when it comes time to make that video. In relation, for next month, for July, looking at Gothic literature, we're going to be reading this one, Charlotte Docqueray. I'm not entirely sure how to say her name, but Zafloya or the Moor, originally published in 1806. So this is next up for Gothic literature. I don't know a tremendous amount about it, but like I said, it's what's next in line. One other newer book that I acquired is this one, Star Trek Picard the Veil. And this is for Book Trek this year. Event that I spearhead, but that I followed along on with some great hosts, some great co-hosts, including Steve Donahue, Gina Stanier, Michael K. Vaughan, where we dive into Star Trek fiction. So it was a longer event last year. This year it's a shorter event. It's going to be August and September. August, we're going to be revisiting some of the iterations of Star Trek that we read last year for Book Trek. And September is going to be Strange New Worlds. Not specifically the new show that is out for Star Trek, but looking at iterations of Star Trek that we didn't cover last year. And that will include, actually, Picard, that series. So I picked up the next one. Last year I read the first Picard book, so this is the second one, so picked that one up for anticipation of Book Trek. And the last thing I got used at a Goodwill, and that is Thomas Harris's Hannibal, which I've seen copies of before used, but they're always in awful condition. So this is the first one that I found that was actually in pretty good condition. So I grabbed this. I do believe, I have not read it, but I do believe it's fairly well respected as a horror novel. So this is one that I will eventually dive into. But that's it. It's not a huge pile. I was kind of conservative this month, especially because I've already started packing, having to pack some books away in anticipation of hopefully selling the house and having to move. So I was not bringing in too many books last month. So once again, things that I recently acquired. That's Louis L'Amour's Dark Canyon. We've got Zafloya or the Moor, the Charles Brockton Brown Library of America collection. Star Trek Picard, The Dark Veil, and Thomas Harris's Hannibal. If you've read any of these, I would love to hear what you thought. All right. As always, thank you, BookTube.